Welcome to the Entrepreneur Podcast, where we take a look inside the lives of the accomplished and successful businessmen and women. We'll get up close and personal with the founders of booming startups. So lean in and prepare to carry away something to skyrocket your own business. Please subscribe to our show and do leave us a review. It means a lot to us. Now, here's your host, Rajiv.
Hey listeners, welcome to the Entrepreneur Talk Show. I am your host Rajiv Unikrishnan, and this is the show where we talk about entrepreneurship and speak to great founders, entrepreneurs, and investors. Today we have with us Rajat Harlalka, co-founder at Bellurbis. Welcome, Rajat.
Hi, Rajiv. Pleased to be on the show. Thank you for inviting me.
Just a brief intro. Bellurbis is an enterprise-focused software dev company which helps other enterprises to better the productivity and effectiveness of their teams by enabling them with the right skills and knowledge they need for their current jobs. He's an engineer from IIT, and prior to Bellurbis, he spent time as an operating partner at GSF India, a consultant at Exicon, and a few other gigs. He's also a member of the SLP or Startup Leadership Program. Again, Amit, welcome to the show. Rajat, welcome to the show. Do let us know what's going on in your world today.
Again, thanks, Rajiv, and thank you for pronouncing pronouncing Bellurbis right. Usually people don't get that.
Okay.
And then for sure. So thank you for that. Life is good. Life is exciting. As an entrepreneur, it's always happening. A lot of ups and downs, a lot of challenges every day, a lot of things to look forward to the next day. So it's awesome. That's all I can say.
Okay. Before we get into business, first, I always ask these to my founders, any passions outside of work?
Well, I have a few. So I'm a very big foodie. I love trying different foods. I love trying to cook different foods.
Okay.
And thankfully, during my professional career, I got a chance to travel quite a bit of the world. I've traveled to more than 30 odd countries.
Oh, excellent.
I've lived in close to about 5. So I've got a chance to taste different food, different cuisines, and I think that's something which I really enjoy. And that is usually surprising for people because I'm sort of short and thin, so people think I don't eat a lot, but I actually eat a lot.
Okay.
And I love eating.
All right.
And apart from that, I love movies, music. Those are things that I usually do outside my work.
Great. So coming to business, of course, the inevitable question, what inspired the idea for Bellurbis?
So I think first, let me answer that question by, why entrepreneurship for me?
Yep.
I think why entrepreneurship for me sort of was an easy thing for me to happen because I come from a business family. So I'm a Marwari, and Marwaris in India are sort of known to be in business.
Correct.
So when I was actually working in the industry, so my family used to be surprised and they used to tell me, why are you working? You should start something of your own, right? Mm-hmm. So business happened sort of naturally for me. And why Bellurbis? Basically, so before Bellurbis, I was out of India. I was in Hong Kong, and prior to that, I was in Sweden. So I was exploring different ideas on what to work on, and I was in touch with a few of my batchmates from IIT, and we were sort of brainstorming different ideas to work on. And we figured it out was that there's a lot of stuff happening in the digital space with the emergence of mobile, social, data analytics, and so on, right? And a lot of enterprises will eventually have to, jump on this bandwagon, right? And that's an opportunity we wanted to capitalize. And that's how, Bellurbis basically happened. And we realized, I and my founding team members, we all spent considerable time in the industry. So we could sort of see that the industry is moving in that direction, right?
Correct. And
we could feel that, there could be an interesting opportunity there. And that's when we sort of jumped, took a plunge and started Bellurbis.
Okay. So, initially when you thought of the idea, you and your co-founders took it off the ground. So a bit about your co-founders.
So my co-founders are Anurag and Vivek. So both of them are batchmates from IIT. I went to IIT from 2001 to 2005. Both Anurag and Vivek were with me at that time.
Okay.
And they again, spent time in different companies, multinational companies across the world.
Yep.
And we were in touch since we left IIT, and we kept on brainstorming different ideas. And and then eventually we figured out that it was, enough of talk, and let's try and do something. And 2012, we sort of started the company.
Great. So, you're I would say primarily catering to enterprises, right? And so how did you validate your idea? Did you have a few test customers or?
Yeah, so we had a few customers. We had a few test customers. I think one thing that we did well was that, so even when we had the idea, we kept on bouncing it off from with different people, right?
Okay.
met a lot of folks, we met a lot of mentors in the industry, and we got their feedback on the ideas, and that's how the product development process happened, right? So right from concept, the inception stage, so when we had a alpha product release, a beta product release, we kept on sort of validating it with different customers, different people, and that's how sort of we built the product. And then once the product went live in the market, then of course the customers give us a lot of feedback, and the roadmap eventually sort of took shape based on what feedback the market gave us.
Okay, so I think Bellurbis is primarily a sales tool, or platform. So I mean, I think it covers 5 broad areas: training, knowledge management, content, insights, and of course overall integration. So how does the entire product work? I mean, for a consumer.
Usually for a lot of companies, even mid-sized companies in today's world, they have their sales team, which are more often than not spread across different geographies, right? And then they usually you'd see that in a sales team, the attrition is pretty high. So you keep on having people leaving the organization, and you keep on getting new people into the company, right?
Yeah.
And the salesperson is sort of the primary interface you have with the customer. So any company would want the salesperson to be very aware of your product, very aware of your brand. And, when he or she appears in front of the customer, he or she should be equipped well enough to take any questions from the customer, right?
Yep.
And I think that's where we come in. That's where we help companies. So we basically ensure that through our different modules we have in our product, we ensure that a sales rep has all the required knowledge, skill, know-how of different processes in the company, so that he can optimize every interaction he has with the buyer.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
Whether it be the initial pitch when he's sending to the customer, we help to make sure that the sales reps across different geographies are on the same page, right? Whether it be sharing best practices, we ensure that it is disseminated well within the sales team. Whether it is training, we make sure that whether it's new employees or existing employees getting trained on new product, that happens well. And as an organization, you can keep track on what the sales reps are browsing through, what materials they're reading through, what materials they're sharing, what are the weak areas, what are they looking for and not able to find in terms of market collateral. So I think that's the gap we try to fulfill.
Okay. And so you all have modules like Nobi, Cubis. A little bit about your modules that you have.
Yeah, so basically, as you said, we have 3-4 broad modules in the platform. So one is Nobi, which is a knowledge management solution. So that essentially what it does is that allows sales reps to share knowledge amongst each other. And this knowledge could be as simple as sales pitch, right? Or it could be as simple as a case study that someone has drafted, or it could be marketing collateral. So it ensures that every sales rep has the latest and the greatest content. It keeps a good tab on what sales reps are searching for. It keeps a good track on what sales reps are sharing with the customers and stuff like that, right? So that's what Nobis does. Second model is what we call Cubis. So Cubis essentially is a learning and training platform. It's a classic LMS sort of a platform, optimized more towards sales teams. It's again, you can sort of train new employees as well as train existing ones on, your new products or your processes or your best practice. And it has a very powerful engine underlying that sort of personalizes the experience for every sales rep. And as an organization, you can keep a close tab on how your sales reps are performing.
Okay.
What are the weak areas and stuff like that. Yeah.
Okay. So, I mean, in terms of growth, you mentioned that you did about 700K last year. And I mean, future is looking good. You're looking at doubling that in the next few years. Are you all on track?
Yeah, I think it looks good so far. So in terms of, I think we've got good traction so far. And I think the way the market has responded so far, it looks pretty promising. And I think we should be able to double it in the next couple of years. That's what we're looking for.
Okay.
Yeah.
And where are primary, I mean, if I'm looking at a area or where are you seeing your most customers from rather?
Right. So we our most biggest region where we get our customers from is North America. So US is our biggest market.
Okay.
So that's where we see the most traction happening.
Okay.
Apart from US, Southeast Asia, India, Singapore, Hong Kong, a little bit Australia is other places where we traction.
And what vertical? Is it a mixed vertical?
Yeah. So we don't target any particular industry. We are industry agnostic. We are more focused on different operations in a company, particularly the sales team.
Okay. So a Zendesk, Freshdesk will be a kind of competition?
So Zendesk spreadsheets are sort of our they complement our offerings. So we
Okay.
complement our offerings.
Okay.
Let me put it that way.
Okay.
So we've actually integrated our solution with Zendesk. We've integrated with Salesforce.
Okay.
So these are So we basically ride on them to ensure that the sales rep has
Got it. Got it. Got it. So you'll also link into Marketo and all that, right? I presume.
Hmm.
Okay. And so revenue model is a monthly subscription, I guess.
Yeah, it's a SaaS model, monthly
SaaS.
subscription based on the number of users. Yeah.
Okay. And no on-premise model yet.
So we have an on-premise model that's basically happened because a few customers in India actually wanted that.
Okay.
But we are not very keen on the on-premise model.
Got
We
it.
mainly focus on the
Got
cloud-based
it.
model.
And team size?
So we're close to about 40 people right now, all in Gurgaon. All
Okay.
based in Gurgaon. Yeah.
So what are the key challenges you've seen over at least since 2015 mid when the funding has been totally clamped? What are the key challenges you're seeing around your ecosystem?
Yeah, I think we've seen both positives and negatives because of that. I think one of the good things that we've seen because of the clamping of funding is that hiring has become a little easy for us now.
Okay.
That's good for us. The bad thing that we've seen is in general. I think because of the funding crunch, so we're also working with a few startups to provide our offerings to them. I think that has evaporated now. Most of the startups
Correct.
are gone or sort of a restriction on their budgets now.
Yeah.
So we were actually in discussion with a lot of startups in India, and we're doing trials with a lot of customers in India. So I think that way we've been hit a bit.
Of course. Yeah. Okay. And you all are bootstrapped till now.
We are bootstrapped, and we hope to remain bootstrapped in the next at least couple of years.
Excellent and a rare phenomenon. Okay, and
So Rajiv,
yes,
as I said, I come from a Maharwari background, so the only language we understand is profit loss, right?
I know I have a lot of Marwari friends. I'm from Bombay, so
Yeah.
okay. So moving out of business, Rajat, who influenced you most in life?
I think my parents have been the biggest influence for me. My both my mother and father, they come from a very small village. I come from Assam. I was born brought up there. My mother and father, they actually were born in a very small village in Assam, and they've sort of built a sort of good life for us and for themselves,
Yeah.
rising from where they came from. And I think whatever I am today is of course because of them. I think they are the biggest inspiring factors for me.
Excellent.
Apart from them, perhaps the other person who sort of influenced me most is my maternal uncle, my mother's brother. And the reason I say that is because so my family has been mostly into business. No one really cared much about education, right? But my uncle was the first person who sort of went to engineer. He did engineering. He went to NIT Warangal, and then he moved to US, and he's been very successful in the technology industry, right? And he sort of motivated me to study and do well in my studies, right? And that sort of got me to prepare for IT, get into IT, sort of get into technology industry, right? I think that's he's been again a very big motivating person for me in my life.
And some of the best advice you've received over time?
Some of the best advice, I think, I usually in my family, I keep on hearing because a lot of people are in business, and business brings in a lot of stress, right? So there's a constant feedback, and I get that. Don't focus on results; just focus on the work you're doing, and results will follow automatically. I think that sort of keeps me in good stead during the downturns. I think that's the best advice.
Correct. Okay, and so you're obviously involved in the hiring process of the company. So if someone wants to join the company, what's the first thing you're looking for?
I think the couple of things we look for. One is I definitely want to see ethically the person sounds strong. I think ethics and honesty are the biggest things that I really prize in any person. And the second thing that I look for is fire in the belly, right? Ambitious person who wants. So those are two biggest traits that I go after whenever we are trying to hire someone.
Okay. And do you believe everyone has do you believe what is the most important element to succeed in business? Over your experience?
I think perseverance. I think perseverance is the biggest thing that you need. It's very easy to get distracted in today's world. It's very easy to get disappointed as well in today's world.
Very true.
I think perseverance is perhaps the most important thing you need.
Okay. So at moment or at the present, any new feature or launch coming up that's getting you and the team really excited?
Yeah, we actually get excited every day, Raj. Every day I and my product management team, we keep on thinking of new features to add, and that keeps us excited. So
Yeah.
I think for us, every day is a new day, new exciting day.
Uh-huh.
Someone or the other who comes up with a bright idea that we should try this as well, and it looks very exciting, and we sort of we start exploring that. So, yeah.
Damn good. And where do you see yourself in your business in the next 2 to 3 years?
So I think we want to continue on the path that we are. We want to continue to focus on the B2B side. We want to continue adding a couple more perhaps products in a platform in the similar domain that can complement our offerings.
Okay.
I think we've got good traction in North America. We would actually want to try and get some traction in Europe and other markets as well. I think that's something we have in a target the next couple of years.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
So now we move to the part of the show, which is a quick fire round. Simple, brief
Okay.
answers. Okay.
Okay.
So when people ask you, what do you do? How do you answer that?
I just say that I'm working on a venture that's trying to build a name for itself.
Okay. When you think of the word successful, who is the first person that comes to mind?
Steve Jobs. Steve Jobs.
What do
I
you?
think a lot of entrepreneurs perhaps answer that. I
Yes,
guess.
lots. Or Elon
Yeah.
Musk. So, what do you excel at that people might not realize?
I think I'm very good in bringing structure in a chaotic environment, right?
Okay.
I'm good in creating processes. That's
Okay.
what I say.
What is something you believe in that other people think is totally insane?
I'm an internal optimistic, so I see positives in everything somehow, and I think that's where people sometimes think I'm really stupid.
And what is Rajat's greatest weakness?
So apart from food, yeah, I think food is my biggest weakness. Yeah, I think that
Okay.
definitely is the biggest weakness.
M-commerce or e-commerce?
Sitting in India, M-commerce.
Okay. And your favorite city globally?
Favorite city globally is my hometown, Guwahati.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Has a lot of memories attached to it.
Of course. And finally, Rajat, any last thought or piece of advice that you may have missed that you want to give our founders?
So I would only say is that entrepreneurship is a pretty lonely journey. So make sure that you have friends and mentors around you with whom you can discuss and share your ideas.
Okay.
I think that's very important. If you do that, I think you'll be in good spirit always.
Great. And please let our listeners know how they can reach you and also BelurBiz.
Yeah, so you can reach me on Twitter at Rajat Harlalka. You can also email me on rajat.harlalka@belurbiz.com.
Mm-hmm.
You can read about BelurBiz on www.belurbiz.com.
Okay.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
it.
Again, Rajat, thanks for taking the time to talk to us and inspiring our listeners to start their own ventures, and all the very best in building and scaling BelurBiz.
Thank you so much, sir, and thank you for having me. It was a pleasure.
Yes, do visit belurbiz.com and visit us at theasianentrepreneur.com to get the show notes, and also please subscribe to our show on all the platforms and leave a review on your thoughts about the show. Thank you.
Thank you for listening, and please subscribe to the show so you don't miss an episode. In the meantime, head over to theasianentrepreneur.com and check out show notes and other information to motivate you in your entrepreneurial endeavors.